All right, American Heart Association instructors, you are coming into the American Heart Association, or possibly you're already teaching AHA courses and you're going to transfer alignment. So today's video is going to cover the how-tos and all the important information you need to know to transfer your American Heart Association Training Center. Stay tuned for the content today. All right, guys, so look, by default, when you take an American Heart Association instructor course, you're going to align with the training center that did your training for you. But look, sometimes your situation changes. Maybe you move out of state. You're not very satisfied or happy with your current training center. You could always move. So by default, you have one primary alignment with the American Heart Association. That's the primary alignment, usually the one who did your actual instructor training. And then you can also add a secondary alignment. So in the event that maybe you're not happy or you wanted to make a switch for your business needs, you could always add a secondary alignment. So this is the first thing to understand is when you become an American Heart instructor, whoever's doing your instructor training will be your primary. You can also add a secondary. Now the second thing is you maybe want to just switch primary alignments altogether. Right? So I've actually done this. I've gone through that process. So there's a little bit of paperwork involved, but it is a relatively easy process, assuming you have some kind of training center who isn't horrible with communication. Sometimes who knows who you're aligned with, right? You never know what you're going to get until you actually start doing it, and maybe you're unhappy, you want to switch. So there's a little bit of paperwork. First, you have to do a transfer form. You have to make sure that the new training center you want to go to is accepting new instructors or training sites. You're going to have the training form sent to not just the new training center, but also the old training center who needs to sign off on it, send it back to the new one, along with all of your records as an instructor. So there's a lot of migration and movement of all of your paperwork and signatures and making sure you can get signatures that you need with the paperwork. And then again, once you actually have that stuff all done, they can actually go through and they can process your records from your old training center to your new training center. So those could actually all be found in the Atlas website. Training Central has those available, so you can just go there, download that form, fill it out, make sure you check with the new training center you're going to transfer to make sure they're actually a good fit for you. If you need recommendations on who to go to, we're happy to help you with that. We don't do a whole lot of American Heart Association. We're mostly Red Cross, but we have a lot of great partners across the country with AHA that could possibly be a good fit for you. So definitely reach out if you have questions on who to go to. All right, so all the paperwork is done. You're now officially transferred. So the next step for the new training center to do is to monitor you. So this is where you're actually going to teach a course in front of them, whether it's them or their TC coordinator, whoever it is that's going to be watching. They're going to have it set up to where you can, if you're already a current instructor, do a virtual. Oftentimes, a lot of training centers will do virtual monitoring where you basically just pull up a laptop, point it at yourself in the screen of all the videos and all the content you're going through, the way that you're teaching, just to make sure that you're meeting all the standards. So that's going to be the monitoring session in order for you to actually become an instructor under that training center. So monitoring is a requirement. It does involve a couple more pieces of paper to fill out, some feedback sessions on that. But again, the new training center will be the one coordinating that with you, and that's going to be a requirement for you to actually switch from your old to your new. All right, so you're at the finish line. You finally got all the paperwork squared away. You've done your monitor and teaching. Everything's been officially transferred. All the papers are signed. You're ready to actually start teaching. Now, one of the questions we get a lot is like, can I actually teach in that transition period? Generally speaking, no, because you're not actually affiliated yet. You have to go through course monitoring. So you want to make sure you're thinking ahead on that to make sure your timeline is appropriate so you don't have classes in between transferring and making sure you have cards in your card bank. You have all the things set up already in advance. So definitely something to think about when you do that. And last step is really just creating or signing an affiliate agreement. Now, most training centers are going to do this just for quality assurance. They want to make sure that you're teaching to the standard according to PAM. And then again, you're going to make sure that the program administration manual, that is, and you want to make sure that you're signing any agreements they might have for you in terms of being a training provider. So that should be the last step in the whole transfer process. So look, if you have questions or again, you're interested in transferring, we don't accept new alignments with American Heart Association. We only do that with Red Cross. If you are interested in Red Cross, feel free to reach out. There's actually going to be a link in the description for that. But we more than happy if you wanted to send us an email. We can send over some recommendations that are some industry friends of ours that do a great job with the American Heart Association. So that way you can make the best decision for you and your training business. So if you have questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks so much for watching today.